Hey, it's TaxQuips time from TaxMama.com. Today, TaxMama wants to talk to you about the final income filing deadline for this year's tax returns. Well, my friends, every year we get to this point in time, getting down to the wire. In private social media forums, tax professionals are posting notes and screams of frustration dealing with clients showing up at the last minute with surprise income, offhandedly mentioning, "Oh, I sold that property last year," or a mention of an LLC they opened that they forgot to bring up earlier, or still not providing the missing documents or expense summaries that the tax pros have been requesting for months and months. And then there are those charming folks who think it's fun to walk into their tax pro's office 2 days before the final deadline, all ready to sit down and get the tax return prepared on the spot. I have a friend who thinks that's cute. He's not a client, though. Let's face a few realities, my friends. This has been a tremendously stressful year on so many levels. Aside from the COVID dangers, Congress had been passing laws in 2020 and 2021 that they expect taxpayers, tax professionals, and the IRS to understand and implement. Some of the laws being retroactive to the last year or two. In addition to tax compliance and enforcement, Congress has tasked the IRS with issuing several series of payments to taxpayers, and the IRS is trying hard to make the information easier for taxpayers to find that they simply don't have time to answer all of the questions that people have. And with everyone working from home, the IRS is totally behind on opening paper mail, including payments people have made, so their computers are spewing out past due notices to people who've already paid their taxes. Frightening. This year is a total mess, but that doesn't mean you're off the hook about meeting this October 15th filing deadline unless you're in a disaster area. My message to you: if you haven't already filed your tax return, finish it up and do it immediately. Today. File it electronically and keep an eye out for rejections so you or your tax pro can fix the problem quickly. But you don't have all the information. Too darn bad. You have had over 9 months to gather the data. If you don't already have it all, make your best estimate of the missing income or expenses. Include a disclosure statement, a Form 8275, to explain why you have estimated amounts and that you will amend your tax return as soon as you get the corrected data. Why should you file your tax return on October 15th, even if it's incomplete? Well, your extension is going to run out on October 15th. The non-filing penalty is 5% per month for up to 5 months. That's 25%. Does that start in October or all the way back in April? I believe it starts in October, but I'm not positive. But the late payment penalty of 0.5% per month started in April. If you didn't pay all the taxes you expected to owe for the last year at the time you filed the extension, you're already up to 7 months of penalties plus interest. In order to claim certain tax breaks and benefits, you must file a tax return on time. They won't work on late returns. And then there's this. Folks who miss the filing deadline often get stymied about what to do in the following year, and it starts a pattern of non-filing for the next few years until they get things sorted out. This ends up becoming very, very expensive. Oh yeah, there's more due tomorrow. Yep. In addition to the filing deadline for the prior year, you have the third quarter estimated tax payments due for the current year. Paying this is especially important if you find yourself owing more than you can pay for last year and or earlier years. To get the IRS to agree to an offer in compromise or installment agreement or any other breaks for past due balances, you must be current on this year's withholding or estimated taxes. So catch up and pay online only to ensure that your payment is credited to your taxpayer account. Be sure to put the correct year on the payment. Do not send paper checks. They're taking too long to post to the taxpayer accounts. This is also a good time to schedule a meeting with your tax pro and review your tax situation. Your tax pro is going to want to take a break desperately, so schedule your meeting for next month. You know there will be more legislation coming from Congress this year, and we already know it's going to change a great many issues in your tax life, probably retroactive to the beginning of this year. After, it's nearly too late to change what you've already done. So expect next year to be a challenge as well. I will keep you updated once they actually pass the legislation, hopefully before the end of December. And remember, you can find answers to all kinds of questions about taxes and business issues and EA education free. Where? Where else? At TaxMama.com.